Hey guys, thanks for clicking on this video. Today I'm going to be recreating this look that I did on my birthday. I had a really fun birthday this year with my twin sister Sandy, and we both pretty much wore the exact same makeup in the pictures that I'm showing you right now. And I got a ton of requests on Instagram asking me what was the eye product that I was using, what lashes was Sandy having, what lipstick are we wearing, and I just thought, you know what, let me just go ahead and take it to the gram and ask you guys if you want me to recreate this look. So I asked you on Instagram if you wanted me to do an Instagram stories or a YouTube tutorial, and I got an overwhelming response from both actually, but definitely heavier on the YouTube side. And all my YouTube followers are like super loyal and you guys love YouTube tutorials. So YouTube won, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to recreate this look for you, and I'm going to explain kind of why I chose this look for our birthday glam, and obviously I did Sandy's makeup too. So thanks so much for voting. That really helped me out, and it was actually really fun to see what you guys were interested in. So I might kind of, you know, keep doing those polls on Instagram. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, make sure you do. Susie Morales MUAH. It's pretty easy to remember. All right, let's get on with this tutorial. Let me show you guys how it's done. I'm actually going to start off with my face, which is what I did when I was getting ready. And the reason I did that is because like we were literally running out of time to get ready, so this is why this look was the perfect look for Sandy and I. Actually, I'm going to use my Loreal foundations. These are the True Match in W7 and W6. I like mixing these two because one is just a little bit too light and I need the mixture of both. And W7 is too dark. It's beautiful in the summertime. I love it in the summertime, but unfortunately, I'm not there yet. I'm using my favorite One Heck of a Blot primer. This one's great for keeping everything matte, and I think it does a great job with like moisturizing too. I already have moisturizer on, so I didn't want to do any of that. All right, I'm gonna put W6 like in the center of my face. Oh, W6 actually pretty good. Yeah, I might mix a little bit of that though. Then I'm going to put W7 on my forehead. I just like the way foundation looks when it's the darker color on my forehead. It just looks more seamless. Doesn't look like I'm like really trying hard to blend colors together. So that's why I mix them. And then to blend it out, I'm using my L'Oreal sponge. I really like this sponge. I think it's like one of the best sponges in the drugstore. Actually, I like it better than the Beauty Blender, to be honest. I think the Beauty Blender, it leaves like imprints of the pores that the sponge has, and this one's just a little bit more compact. So you're not gonna get that many almost like brush strokes, but like for the sponge. And this one just doesn't do that. In the photos that I was referencing for this look, I actually ended up using the color Bronzed Belle, and these are the Stila glitters. I really like these. I did a whole kind of try on with the Supernova shadows, and I really like those from ColourPop. I just think that these are they're way more glittery, so like chunks of glitter show more, and they're just chunkier too. I also think that they do stay a little bit better. So it's one of those things where you can just like get both or just get one of these. The thing about these is that the glitters though, they're very similar, like they're all silver glitters and then like an undercoating of a different color. So it's whatever. But anyways, I wanted to use a different one today just because it's a simple look and I wanted to try something different. So the color I'm using today is Wanderlust. It has more of a like an iridescent green, yellow, pink, purple type of color to it. So I don't use an applicator. Part of the reason is because I actually want to use this in my kit, and I think this will be really fun for people to try out glitters without it being too, you know, messy and crazy. I put it on a palette, and literally what you do is you take a flat brush. This stuff is no joke. So this is what I did on my damn self. And then I kind of dragged it up a little bit just to kind of blend it and like fade it away. And the cool thing about this like formula is that it looks like you did way more than what you actually did. It doesn't look like anything that much in person, but in photographs or in camera, but in photographs and in pictures it was amazing. So I literally just kind of place it on the actual lid, and then I kind of blended it upwards. I'll kind of bring a little bit more almost into the crease area. Stuff is insane in person. Like, it's insane. I love it. All right, I'm gonna wait for that to dry for a second. I'm using the Wet n Wild concealer in the color Medium Tawny. I really like this concealer. It's really good. I take off the stopper so I can kind of distribute more product onto my eyes, because I was finding that I was not liking the product when there was less on my face. So what I did is I just took out the stopper, and it made such a difference. It's a little messier. And I like this color because it has like some kind of like peachy undertones in it, so it does a good job with canceling like any depth under the eyes. And it's also very, very brightening. Alright, I'm going to use some of my Maybelline powder. This is light medium. I really like this setting powder. It's just so good, especially in the summertime when you're feeling really, really oily. For me, it's just like one of the best mattifying powders that I've used. But I don't like to bake with it. I just like to kind of push it into the areas where it gets really, really oily. Kind of suffocate my pores, so to speak. I'm going to kind of tap in the areas where I'm going to add bronzer. Because the worst thing is for your bronzer or your blush to skip because the texture underneath was a little bit too sticky and tacky. So you want to make sure that you kind of kick that up with some powder, set it. Really quickly, I'm going to do my brows. I'm using my Anastasia Duo powder in dark brown. And I'm going to use a teeny tiny brush to go through those. This is such an easy look, you guys. It makes me so happy. Alright, I'm going to clean up my brows just a little bit because everything is so simple on the eyes. I want the brows to look super, super crisp. So I'm going to use my Studio Fix, or I'm sorry, my Studio Finish. Oh, I did too much. My Studio Finish concealer. This is in the color NC35. There's a big jump between 42 and 35, but I like the 35 because it's a little bit lighter. And honestly, even if you like just do your brows every day, doing this little step, it'll make a huge difference with how like clean your eyes look. It looks more put together. It is an extra step, but it does make a huge difference with how your eyes look. So if you're ever wanting to like zhuzh up your look a little bit, this is a good way to do it. It's just to clean up the brows underneath. I don't like to do it on top. I just don't think it looks necessary or it looks particularly amazing, honestly. I like the tops to look a little bit fuzzier and furrier, but to each their own. I did a quick coat of mascara, and now what I'm going to do is add some lashes. Now this is a thing that made a big difference. Sandy was actually wearing much thicker lashes than I was. I was wearing like these kind of like same old Salon Perfect like wispy type lashes, and they both looked beautiful. I think that hers, I personally thought that hers looked better because her lashes were those like kind of like foamy type of lashes that I believe she got in a BoxyCharm, not Ipsy, a BoxyCharm. I think that with this particular makeup, the lashes made it, honestly. So that's what makes it look like super like complex and super like, what did she do to her eyes? It was just the lashes, because it's literally just glitter all over the lid, blended upwards. Try to get these as close to your lash line as possible. It does make a big difference in how like clean and full it looks. So I'm going to do that and I'll be right back. Alright, now the lashes are on, I was just thinking about how important it is to get those so tight to the lashes for this type of look. If you guys want me to do an entire video dedicated to how to apply false lashes, my best tips, for me it's easy to put on somebody else. It's like my favorite thing. I have no issue with it. But it's definitely harder to do it on myself. So if you guys want me to try to break down the best tips I can think of for how to apply your own false lashes, whether it's a strip, a thicker band, individuals, or clusters, please let me know in the comments below so that I can do that for you, because I really have been thinking about that. One of my sisters was actually asking me like, how do you do it? So I just thought that that might be helpful. So let me know, please. But yeah, it's no joke. Even for me, it's hard. Alright, I'm gonna move on to my face. So I've been doing this over and over and over again, and honestly this bronzer is amazing. If you can't find this bronzer from MAC, it's the Delicates one. There is an amazing bronzer from MAC. That's kind of why I bought this one, because this was on sale. It's from MAC and it's called the Next to Nothing powder. Those are amazing. When I was freelancing at MAC this winter, that's literally like one of the only things that I kept pulling was a Next to Nothing powder. For almost every person I did, every makeover I did, every holiday party makeup I was doing on the clients, the Next to Nothing powder was the one product that I just could not use. It looks good on everybody. It's an amazing texture. It's super, super soft and blendable. And the reason I like it is because it kind of gives you like more of a transition into a contour color. So it's not super, you can't really mess up with it. And this brush I'm using is from Eco Tools. It's more of a scratchier kind of, so it picks up the product better, but for the Next to Nothing, you don't need something like this. This will kick it up way too much. You need something much softer. So anyways, yeah, I was gonna get the Next to Nothing, but I got this instead, and I was like, oh my god, I love it. I wonder if they still have it in the store. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit on my nose because I like the way a bronzy nose looks. And then for a little bit of warmth, that bronzer does a nice job, but this does make it a little bit warmer. I'm using the NYX powder in medium. And I'm just kind of using it almost like a blush too. So this softer brush is a really good one for that Next to Nothing powder I was just talking about. So I'm not going to add any blush, and let me just finish my bottom mascara. Oh, this one I'm using is the Maybelline Lash Stiletto. For my highlighter that day on our birthday, I definitely used this one. This is the Master Chrome highlighter, and it's the color Molten Rose Gold, number 50. This one's so pretty. It's like super sparkly, very, very thin on the base. It's very creamy looking. The gold one, I was gonna put this one up, but I'm like, you know what, let me just try a different one just to shake it up a little bit. Oh, actually, I'll use this one. I was talking about this in my last video. This is the color Show Gold. It actually reminds me a lot of what this holographic kind of eye looks like. So it looks like that. Oh, I need a tighter brush. This is not my favorite. Let me just, yeah. See how like it has like an iridescent pink to it? It's a little bit funky, but it's kind of what I wore on my birthday. It was really fun to just do it up. Nobody knows me. Who cares? I was traveling. They don't know my life. Okay, and what I always do, literally like always, is just take a dark shadow. I always end up using my brow powder and a tight brush. And then I'm going to kind of go underneath my lash line and just rub that underneath. What that does on my eye shape is it makes it look more doughier and wider. My eye looks a little bit bigger. It just kind of frames my face better. The other thing too is it kind of completes the entire look. So because I'm wearing something dramatic on my top lid, I want to kind of balance it out by putting something in the bottom. I will go a little bit shinier on my cheeks, so I'm going to actually use my Master Chrome in the color Molten Gold. This is just the regular gold one. And I'm going to actually spray my brush and then put it on. Well, paint it on. Yes. Woo! When you do this, make sure that you really blend out the edge because it can look like a weird blotch of shine. Damn, that looks cool. See that? Oh. And then what you can do is you can pick up some of that and then put that on the inner corner just to kind of bring more brightness. These Maybelline highlighters are just so good. I think that they're like one of the best highlighters in the drugstore. This one and the Wet n Wild ones are just very similar in texture, but the colors and just the way it glides on the skin is pretty amazing. So I'm going to put a little bit on my brow bone as well because again, when it's your birthday, you just kind of go all out. We're going to pull out all the stops with this. I was talking about this in my last video. I've been using this like brow volumizer from Maybelline. I really, really like it. I was actually talking to a girl who was shopping at Ulta, and she was asking me what I thought about a certain brow thing. And I was like, girl, try this one. and I kind of explained to her why, and it was what I was explaining to you guys. It's basically, it actually does something to your brows without making it look sparse. Some brow gels, I feel like when you brush through with them, they just leave your brows looking like scarce, like, because they're literally clumping all the hairs together. This one doesn't. It actually like lays onto your brow hairs and actually makes them look fuller because of the fibers in them. You just have to be careful you get the right color, because I definitely used the medium brown and it looked gray, but this one, this is the deep brown. It's amazing. Alright, now that everything's on, I'm going to spray my face. I'm actually going to use the Dewy Finish by NYX. Just something different. And I was really liking the way my face looked when it was dewy. When you're going out, sometimes, like, I don't know, I don't really need to mattify my face. I like my foundation matte, but everything else I just want that shit shiny and like dewy and pretty. And then what I used on my lips was this lipstick that people, I mean, every time I wear it, people were like, what is that? Because it has a really cool texture to it. It's the new metallic liquid lipsticks, the Retro Matte in the color Crowned. It's a beautiful color. I really love the texture of it. I love the way it looks on the lips, but also it doesn't look super flat. The other thing I love about a liquid lipstick is that, especially if you're going out for your birthday, or maybe you're drinking a little too much, or maybe you just want to get wild and dance a lot, a liquid lipstick will save your life, because you might get bumped into another person, or maybe like you're short like me and you always bump into people's clothes. A liquid lipstick is just going to save you, because it's not going to give that like smeary, bleeding, any kind of effect like that. It's going to stay put and you're going to look cute in my pictures. The last touch that I do, and this is a tip that I have just tried to tell everybody, and it's honestly one of the biggest scams, making your skin look like it's naturally like beautiful on its own, is by drawing in your beauty marks. If you have beauty marks like me, I have a dark one here and a dark one here. When you redraw it in, it's giving the illusion that your skin is naturally peeking through because you have a dark beauty mark there. You just have to be really careful with how dark you draw it, what you use. I like using a brow product that's a little bit ashier tone, because it just looks the most natural and it looks like actual beauty mark color. I don't like to use a black eyeliner. I think that looks super fake, and that's kind of like why it's a dead giveaway that you're totally faking it. But a brow pencil does wonders. And if you find like it's too dark, you can always kind of tap over it and do one of those guys. Alright guys, that's the finished makeup. I really hope you guys liked it. Thank you so much for requesting this. I got so many DMs, and I'm glad that I actually asked you guys, because sometimes I just don't know what really clicks and resonates with you guys, and it's really exciting when I do get feedback from a look, because it gets me motivated to actually film a tutorial for you guys that you actually want to see. So I hope this was easy enough for you guys to recreate, or at least simple enough to try to practice to recreate. Again, sometimes a look can be just as striking with like far fewer steps than you might think. It doesn't have to be a cut crease. You didn't have to do any blending. It's literally just slapping that glitter on your lids and going. And that's kind of why I was excited to do this makeup look for you guys, because it was so simple to do. Alright, if you guys have any other requests, please let me know in the comments below. I'm going to be checking those and commenting back as soon as I get this video posted. I'll see you guys in my next video.